Happy New Year, everyone. I'm Samantha Tomlinson.
And I'm Kevin Tracy. Welcome back, everyone. Hope you guys enjoyed your holidays and welcoming in the new year and hopefully an end to all this craziness.
It was actually kind of nice. Christmas Eve, Christmas Day was fine, but Christmas Eve I thought was really nice and chill. Because usually it's like, go to family's house or they come to our house and going to church and doing all this stuff. And then
Oh,
this
yeah,
time it was just,
absolutely.
we were all like, I went on a walk and then I went and finished something I was working on and then I showered and we were just having like appetizers and I was making a pizza and we were watching all the Christmas Office episodes. Like it was very chill. And then later by our fire pit outside, I read the Die Hard Christmas book to my
Yes.
family.
Yeah, you sent me a random clip of you reading that.
It is a magical read and I'm so glad I got it. It's so funny. I was reading it like they were all little kids. I was like reading it and then like holding up the pages so they could see.
Oh my gosh.
um so and technically the movie we're talking about today is set during Christmas. So whether it's you can decide for yourself it's a Christmas movie.
It
We're
is.
talking we're talking A Recipe for Seduction, the Lifetime Colonel Sanders movie starring Mario Lopez.
Yeah, I kind of want to just like what is up with KFC for the past couple years? There was this, and then like a couple years ago, there was like a KFC dating simulator where you're
Wait,
like,
what?
yeah, no, there was like a dating simulator that came out like I want to say like 2 or 3 years ago, where like the whole objective is that you're trying to, you're like a cook at like a KFC, and like Colonel Sanders keeps showing up, and you're like more or less like trying to like get on his good side to go on dates with him. I don't know the full premise of the game. I saw
Wait.
like one like there's like these people that I watch on YouTube that like played it once and they did like a whole like gimmick around it. Like one of the people like dressed up as Colonel Sanders and like had a bucket of chickens like and talking like a really crappy like foghorn leghorn accent because that's apparently what a southern accent is. It was just really funny.
I think when you said dating, I was thinking like Match.com or like eHarmony or something, but like people that love KFC.
I mean,
I'm surprised that they haven't made that then.
at this point, they've had a dating simulator game, and now they have this movie. So I honestly wouldn't be surprised if there was like an actual something like that. But I kind of have to ask the question: Is like, is there like a sex appeal to like Colonel Sanders that I'm just not getting because I'm a straight white guy?
Apparently, wait, what does you have being white have to do with it?
I don't know. I'm just giving the audience the full picture here.
I I never really thought about it, but then again, like in commercials, haven't they had like various actors? Like they had Rob Lowe play him at one point.
I think they had uh Jim Gaffigan be Colonel Sanders at one point.
It's like a it's like the Doctor.
Yeah,
Like it'll just
yeah.
become a
It's just
totally different
it's just a
person.
revolving door of actors.
Sometimes it'll be Rob Lowe, sometimes it'll be Jim Gaffigan, and when he's young, he'll be Mario Lopez. So
What the hell?
the trailer in the trailer when it says Mario Lopez is Colonel Sanders, like I want just that as like a poster for my future house, not a picture of the movie, just Mario Lopez is Colonel Sanders. Like it's like a Fast and Furious trailer.
When you originally sent me that trailer, you like sent me that trailer from YouTube. I thought it was a joke.
Yeah.
I didn't think this was actually like going to be a real thing, but like later on you like actually sent me the thing. It's like, wait, why is this 15 minutes long? Oh my god, it's actually the whole
Yeah, the
thing.
movie's 15 minutes, which I mean, it's clearly I think of a little bit. Think of it like Velocipaster. It's definitely trying to be funny. No one's really taking it seriously, or they're all
Oh no,
perfectly taking it seriously, like enough. Like it's not. It's meant to be
it's
funny. It's definitely not meant to be like an art piece.
everyone's going in here with like the same level of like dedication as like a daytime soap
Oh
opera.
yeah.
It's not meant to be taken seriously. This is just purely like melodrama, like
When
schlock.
I heard they were, I remember reading something that said like, or seeing like a headline on like IMDb or something that said Mario Lopez is going to be playing Colonel Sanders in a Lifetime movie, and I'm just like, okay, sure. And then the trailer came out, and my sister sent it to me, and then called me, and she's like, I want to listen to you watch it. And I watched it, and I was dying, and I'm like, this seems like a movie that would be in the Community universe. Like, it's that level of
Yeah, no,
obscure.
it definitely seems like the kind of movie that like plays in the background of a real movie because it's so bizarre.
Yes,
Like
yes.
that's kind of, that's exactly like the kind of thing that I kind of believe with like Velocipaster and like the Sharknado movies. They're just so bizarre and absurd that this can't be a real movie, and this is just the background movie that plays in real
It's
movies that they don't
yes.
have the rights to play actual movies.
And yeah, the movie itself is 15 minutes. It's and I've seen it 3 times now. So that's about 45 minutes of my
Why?
life, which basically is still not a full-length movie.
It yeah, sir. I only watched it once, but it's just like, yeah, once is enough for
That's
me.
how my sister is, and I'm like, this is kind of amazing. And then when you go on the internet, people are really hoping there's going to be a sequel, and it kind of set it up for a sequel.
I mean, yeah, they sequel baited hard at the
Yeah,
end.
I found them.
I mean, we'll kind
Yeah,
we'll get into that later, but it was just really funny watching this movie and then telling like my mom and my sister's like, "Hey, I just watched the greatest movie ever made. You gotta watch it. It's 15 minutes." And apparently my sister has already watched it and it's like, "Yeah, I've seen it once. I don't want to watch it again." But like, I'm trying to get my mom to watch that right
yeah,
now. Um, so hopefully I'll try and get her to watch it sometime in the near future because it's so bizarrely
yeah.
weird that you kind of need to see it at least once.
Yeah, yeah. My sister and her friends. I was supposed to join, but then I'm like, I had to go on. I was asked to go back into work, and I'm like, I should just stay at home. And they were all hanging out, eating chicken, like what, like got like wings, and we're gonna watch this. And
I
I was just,
I definitely I seriously had like this like, oh, I need to go to KFC and get like a bucket of wings.
and then I was just like, we all started at the same time, and I just like we were on like speaker, like listen, watching it and listening to it. Um, But yeah, anyway, so this movie is it's kind of, I want to make it clear, like, because I was thinking how like Mac and Me, which is like an air quotes McDonald's movie, which is really just it's a product placement for McDonald's,
Oh yeah.
whereas
This movie is straight up product placement
it's
for
product
KFC.
placement, but it's more like a bizarre like how KFC came to be kind of thing. Where Mac and Me, McDonald's is just
This is the
yeah,
untold origin
exactly.
story
But
of
no, exactly. But
KFC.
like Mac and Me is just like it's just product placement for McDonald's. Like it's
And
and
Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola. Whereas but that was like again, that was trying to be like a movie, like a family movie, is trying to be like E.T. Again, this is trying to be ridiculous and funny. And it's supposed to be and like ridiculous. Um and it says it's like it was presented by Gene, or at the end it says written and directed by Gene. It's like,
Yeah.
oh,
And then it was like produced by Gene's sister or something like that. It's like, I'm sorry, what? Was this like a family
we're all
thing?
familiar with Gene and her work. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's this rich family, the Mancera's, and the beginning, like during the credits, it's like zooming in on like it keeps showing shots of them eating chicken or like the plate of like fried chicken on the table.
Yeah,
And it's
seriously.
like a fancy dinner, and the so our there's yeah, the Mancera family, the mother is Bunny, her daughter, who becomes the love interest for Colonel Sanders, Jessica. I've seen it 3 times. I should know. I shouldn't be questioning this. I believe it's Jessica. And then Billy, who's her very pretentious, like douchey boyfriend. Like he'd be a great villain on The Bachelorette. Like that's kind of level of pretentious. And he proposes to her in front of everybody, which is, don't do that unless you know 100% they're gonna say yes. I'm just gonna, let's just make that clear. Don't propose unless you are one so positive that they're gonna say yes. And she's like, "Why are you putting me on the
Yeah,
spot?"
seriously.
And walks away. And the next morning, the mom is furious, and they're kind of in the same situation as like Rose and her mom in Titanic, where we're,
It's like, we're
yeah,
broke. We're gonna lose all of our money unless you marry this
yeah,
rich guy. But I don't love him. It's like, well, I'm sorry. You're gonna have to make that sacrifice for the family. And then in walks in Mario
ripped,
Lopez as
shredded young Colonel Sanders, who still has like a light mustache, goatee, and like graying hair, and he's wearing his
it,
ascot.
it just it just straight up it just straight up looks like he has like frosted tips, but he gelled it down.
um, yeah,
Like he went through a phase of like frosted tips. It's like, no, I made a mistake, and he had to fix it like real
and
quick.
the mom is like, "This is our new resident chef," and it's like, if you're about, she says before how they're about to lose their house, or they're about to be like the bank's gonna like take their house, and it's like, so why are you,
Yeah,
how are you hiring a new chef?
yeah, and also their like gourmet meal from like last night is like, that's just KFC.
Yeah, very much.
I mean, like KFC is good and all, but it's like they're like eating it on like fine china and they're eating it with like forks and knives. Like, just use your hands. Like that's just a drumstick.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's like, why they're just being like
Yeah.
so pretentious and polite about it. It's just like that. That's just a drumstick. What the hell?
And Jessica is immediately taken by Harland, and later in like,
It's like, oh my, you're giving me the vapors,
and
Colonel
the next
Sanders.
scene, which I don't know if that's supposed to be later that day or the next day, because
I think it's
it's
later
because she
that
says
day.
good morning. And before, when she did meet him, she was in pajamas. But the thing is, Colonel Sanders is wearing the same clothes, other than the wedding. Spoiler alert: he's wearing the same clothes the whole movie. So I have no idea. I can't go by
Well,
the
I
time
honestly,
lapse.
this movie's 15 minutes long. I feel like they probably like filmed it in probably like a couple of
That
days.
also, I'm pretty sure they shot this entirely in COVID.
I I would not be surprised if they shot and filmed this entirely in one
I
day.
mean, it's, there are a couple of set changes, so I can agree. I think at most like 2 weeks. At
There,
most.
there's like a couple of set changes, but like for the most part, it's like two locations. One of them's in like the same like two or three rooms
Yeah.
in a house. The other one's just a garage, and the other one's just like the lobby slash bar of a country club that very well could have just been a part of the same
Yeah.
building that they
Oh,
were
okay.
filming
Yeah,
in.
fair enough. But like, it definitely did not take
It's like,
more than, I think at most 2 weeks. It probably took less than that. But they're like walking around. She's like giving him a tour of the property, and they're walking around, and she's just saying like she doesn't want to marry Billy and blah blah blah. And then she's like, "Why am I telling you all this?" It's like, yeah, why? Yeah, why? Like, you just met him, and he's about to tell her. He's telling her about his like secret recipe that's going to change the world.
yeah, it's like, ooh, sounds
And then
exciting.
that's when Billy walks in, who is wearing like, as like, again, very country club esque, very waspy. Like, he's got a sweater tied around his neck, and
Yeah,
and
seriously.
he it's like, Jessica, you don't give me an answer on our proposal. You don't answer your phone, and he sees,
Now you're hanging out with
oh
this
yeah, he
crouton.
sees Harlan's like, hey, what's going on? He's like, beat it, you crouton. And when when
It's like,
I was showing this to a couple friends, and one of them like like spit a piece of food out. He was laughing so hard at that part, and
it's just like, what kind of insult is
it's also,
that?
and he's like, don't call me a crouton. It's like, what is that? Yeah, what is that? What kind of, is that? How is that an insult?
I I
Like
don't
like
know.
I'm not hard, uh, crunchy bread. Like, I'm regular. I'm soft bread. Like, what does that mean?
I have no idea. I don't want to put too much thought into it. It's just a weird weird insult
uh,
from a weird movie.
uh, and this is actually the part, probably the best part in the trailer, where when he says like, "Who are you?" He's like, he's like, "I'm Harlan Sanders, the new chef," and that's what it's the whole Mario Lopez is Colonel Sanders. So,
Yeah,
later, Jessica. I'm trying to think. I feel like might skip
like
something.
she like
Oh,
calls her like best friend who's like going on a date to this country club and is like, oh, I don't think I'm gonna be like proposing to Billy. I think I'm like in love with the new chef. She's like, ooh,
yeah,
get it, girls. Like, by the way, I gotta go. I'm
yeah,
going
oh
on a
yeah,
date because
oh yeah. His name
yeah.
is Lee, and
And
he's
then
great. He's real. He's kind of the real hero of the movie.
I mean, kinda, yeah.
But yeah, he goes on his date, and so actually, after she hangs up, she hops in the shower, and her mom peeks in, and just hearing her conversation, and I
And
guess,
like just straight up steals her phone.
and so does she text? So she goes to the country club next to meet Billy. Did she text
Yeah, she
him from
yeah,
Jessica's phone
she
or her phone?
yes. She stole Jessica's phone, texted Billy's like, meet me at the country club. She then goes there, meets him because he's like, oh, like, Bunny, I was like, is Jessica with you? It's like, no, we have a problem.
Okay, because I didn't realize, I didn't think about that before, and I'm like, I barely understand why she really needed to take her phone. And I also don't understand why she couldn't just texted Billy herself, because she reveals that Jessica is in love with the chef, and she says, "No, we got to have you marry Jessica, and there'll be more long weekends in the vineyard with us two if you do." That's like, "Wait,
Yeah,
if you
yeah,
what?"
they basically heavily imply that like the both of them
They
had
have an
like
affair going on.
yeah, they've slept together. It's like, wait, if you guys have history, is like, why don't you just marry each other? Problem solved. You don't need Jessica.
But I do love this scene, because so Lee is on the date. He's and like his date's like showing him around the place, and he's overhearing and like, "Oh my god, I can't believe what I'm like. What's going on?" And gonna go tell Jessica later. But I do love this scene because Bunny says to Billy, "She's in love with Harland," and he's like, "The cook." Those just like
Yeah, he just laughs
giant
like obnoxiously loud. It's like, it's not that funny.
I realize so when we first see him in the club, he's like drinking, I don't know, whiskey, bourbon, I don't know. And one of those
A
he's
drink.
drinking a drink, and he's got, I guess, like, I think he's got like a napkin or something balled in his hand, but at a glance I thought it was an Oreo. And so I'm like, "Wait, oh no, no. Oh
What?
wait, no, no. That's just a napkin." He's not like, he's not like really upset and drowning his sorrows in whiskey and eating Oreos.
I mean, those are my coping mechanisms.
You're just drinking milk
Just,
and then dipping
just,
it in Oreos.
just bourbon and Oreos. They go together like
Ugh, that,
bourbon and
that
Oreos.
sounds disgusting.
It is.
I don't know. I went on a date, like a Bumble date, where I accidentally ordered bourbon, and I
Oh
took a
my
sip,
god!
and I'm just like,
How do you
ugh.
hold on? How do you accidentally order bourbon? How does no that needs a that needs an explanation.
I walked in, he had a drink, and I sipped it, which don't do. I know I shouldn't have done that. Don't do. It was his drink though, so it was fine. But it was really good, and I wanted that drink, and he pointed to it on the menu, and I pointed to it to the waitress, and I guess I pointed to the one below it because I didn't know which one he had pointed to, and I got bourbon. And
Oh,
I took a
fantastic!
sip, and I'm just like, ugh. Like, it was not.
It's like smooth.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, bourbon's gross, but he's, I don't know, maybe it's bourbon, maybe it's whiskey, I don't know. It's irrelevant to the plot or anything. Anyway, so
Okay.
so Billy is like snooping around the kitchen, and he finds Harlan's backpack, and he finds the recipe. It just says chicken recipe, and he's like, "Secrets out, chicken man." And
I know, and as soon as I saw that, I like paused it to see if I was like, "All right, what's the
Oh,
recipe?
yeah, I
You
thought,
messed up. You messed up. You messed up, KFC. I know the secret." And it's like half of it's like barely legible, like cursive, and it's just it's incoherent. Like it's gibberish. Like it's
oh,
not
okay.
any like it's not an actual recipe. It's just like too hot, not hot enough. Like question marks. Like what?
With the secret recipe, 2 heaping mounds of plankton.
Yes.
So that should have been it. The heaping mound of Billy, and it's just a picture of his face.
Oh my god.
And then it cuts to him running, screaming back to the country club.
Ah!
I can't read. So yeah, I think he like takes a picture of the recipe, and then Harlan walks in, and he's just like, "Hey, like, what's going on?" And he basically tells him that, stay away from Jessica, and he offers him money, like it was like $100,000 or something.
It was
Five
five hundred
five hundred
thousand
thousand
dollars.
dollars, $500,000 to stay away.
Yes, half a million. Yeah, $500,000 because you were kind of a bothersome person.
And he
And
implies that just he basically says like, "Oh, I guess she didn't tell you that she said yes." And we then Jessica and Harlan meet up, and he's like, "I'm like, tell your fiance I'm not going to be bought off." And she like sees the check, and he's like, "I can't believe you told him about my recipe. That's supposed to stay between us." And one of my friends went, "Wait, so why would you share that with someone you barely know? Your secret recipe that's going to change the world." And she is like, "No, I don't love Billy. I love you." And they kiss. And then the mom sees this and calls Billy and is like, "We got a problem." And then next morning, she goes to tell.
oh yeah,
Oh,
but Lee
oh,
shows up
oh, yeah.
before then and is like, "Oh, I'm
Yeah.
gonna tell Jessica that I saw you like all over Billy at the
He
country club."
shouldn't
It's
have
like,
said that.
don't worry. Yeah, it's like don't worry about it. And she like pulls out like a croquet mallet and in the most like stage fight way possible, like hits him on the back of the head, even though it does not actually make contact with him in any way, shape, or
It didn't?
form. It like from what I saw, it did not look like it made contact with him,
Okay, okay.
but it just
I'll
like
let you
made
know
like a.
on the fourth time I watch it.
Good Lord, Sam,
um,
you need a hobby.
I really do. That's actually one of my New Year's resolutions.
It's just find a hobby.
Well, okay, this is really specifically why I gotta pull this up, because I was done. Actually, no, I'll talk about it later. Uh, we'll keep going for now, but I want to talk about this later.
Okay.
Why I have that resolution.
Okay, but yeah, she knocks Lee out, and Jessica's like, "Hey, I got a new phone. I guess I lost my old one. Huh, weird." And then
oh, right, that's
Mario Lopez,
yeah,
yeah, shows up. Is like, "Hey, tell your fiance I can't be bought off," and gives her back the check. And then that
yeah,
whole
yeah.
uh chain of events happens.
And when she did hit Lee in the head, I was like, Lee, like, no.
He's
I
dead.
thought that. I was like, no. And then the next morning, Jessica tells her mom, like, I can't marry Billy. Like, I was talking to Harlan, and she's like, oh, Harlan left. He left last night. And she, I guess, is all upset and is walking around some portion of her property,
The
which
house.
looks kind of like it's Japanese inspired because of like the little red bridges, and there's just, it looks very Japan influence. And when I first saw it, I was just like, later that day in Japan. And she then hears someone going like, and opens like, I don't know, it's like a shed or like a little storage room, and there's Harlan.
Yeah, it looked like some like weird
Yeah,
garage,
yeah.
and then it's like, yeah, there's Harlan just like all tied up. It's
Duct
like,
taped. And
what?
there's Billy, and with a knife. Oh my god! And then the mom walks in, and she's like, "Mom,
It's like
Billy's acting.
secrets out,
Yeah,
chicken man.
Mom, Billy's gone crazy." And she's like, "Just do it already." And she's like, "What?" Like her mom's in on it, and oh no, she comes running in, going, Billy, Lee's escaped. And she's like, wait, what? So yeah, that's why she couldn't get a hold of her friend the other day, because her mom's been holding him hostage. And she
Fantastic.
sees, and she's like, no, Billy, no. And then she sees Lee, who's like, don't say anything. And then he hits Billy in the head just as he's about to like stab. He's like marching towards him, holding up a knife. And and then the mom is just like, God, like goes
You
after
ruined
him,
my
and then they
family.
knock over a shelf, and then she unduct tapes him, and they kiss.
And it was also really funny when she like removes the duct tape from Mario Lopez. It's like not even hanging on. It's just like like only kind of like on in like one corner of his mouth, so it's like not like the full like painful like how it is in movies when they remove duct tape. It's just the
Oh yeah,
ah like kind
yeah,
of
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Which I thought was pretty funny.
And it's now a year later, and it's Jessica and Harlan's wedding being officiated by Lee, and and great, they're married, and now apparently Jessica is at like a wellness, like I don't know what it is supposed to be like.
Oh, her
Yeah,
mom,
Jessica's mom, sorry, is at like a, I don't know, it's
like a
like a
well,
mental
yeah, like a
institution
mental
maybe.
yeah, like a mental clinic or something.
And her hair is like gotta going gray, and she's not looking too great, and a doctor or a person comes over going, you have a visitor, and it's Billy, who is also, his hair is going gray, which he clear, I was thinking about this, he's gotta be at least like almost maybe 10 years older than Jessica. Like he looks definitely
Yeah.
older than her. Uh
Oh,
and
definitely.
not like in a gross way, but he definitely is older than her. But the fact that his hair is this gray, and it's like, were you dyeing it before? Like, it gave me a lot to think about. um. Anyway, and
No, he was dying it so he could look more like Colonel Sanders,
well, he does say, "I found them," and then he pulls out like a drumstick and takes a bite, and then that's the
and
end.
just aggressively like bites it. It's like
And
okay,
that's the end of the movie.
yeah, and yeah, that's the sequel bait that they just plant like super hard.
um, which people really are hoping for a sequel. Like,
I'm kind of hoping, but I'd live without it.
I mean, it's 15 minutes. It's fun, it's ridiculous. Again, no one's taking it seriously. Like, I don't really see the, I really hope there's going to be another one, because it was so ludicrous that I do want more of it. I kept thinking, like, why not just make it I mean, I'm assuming maybe it was COVID why it wasn't a whole movie, or maybe it was always intended to be short. I don't know, but I kept thinking, like, it was very rushed because it was 15 minutes. But
Oh yeah,
it was never
absolutely.
going to be a great movie, any like amazing movie anyways, so why bother?
Yeah, it was really funny for what it was.
Yeah. Yeah, and I definitely would recommend it. It's on YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah, and speaking of YouTube, I kind of want to read some of my favorite comments from
Okay, is
this
this of the trailer, of the movie, or both?
the
Okay.
movie. So yeah, the top comment is probably one of my favorite. It was by Iman Cunningham. Geez, it was like watching a porno without the porn, and that made me laugh probably just as much as the movie. Because that just hits way too close to home. This one by Melissa. If KFC doesn't make "Don't Call Me a Crouton" merch, they were so funny. It's like honestly, the YouTube comments like make this so like they just enrich the experience of this movie. It's like I smell an Oscar and it's extra crispy.
There's a comment. Maybe we might be on different links on YouTube of the movie, but there's a comment on the one I'm looking at that says, "Just shows that a 2-hour Lifetime movie can be done in 20 minutes." Because yeah, this is supposed to be as absurd as, I don't really watch Lifetime or ever, so
Yeah, it's
I
like,
don't know, but
don't call me crouton. Secret's out, chicken man. Quotes like this will live in merch
I
forever.
can't believe this was written and directed by a pair of jeans.
Oh yeah, some literally, like some guy in the comment says, "Just saying, Bunny could have married Billy." It's like, yeah, problem solved.
Oh my god, there's one that says, I hope Billy and Bunny go to his fraternity brother's estate in Louisiana to plot their revenge, where it is revealed his nickname in the fraternity was Popeye.
Oh my god. That is amazing. Oh, this one's by Shipla Jaswal. My life goal is now to be so annoying that someone pays me $500,000 to disappear. Why does this movie constantly feel like it's it's an intro to a cheesy porn movie?
Wait, what was that first one? It's like a porn movie without the porn, without the sex.
Yeah, geez, it feels like a porno without the porn.
There, I'm
Oh,
trying to find it. There is
it is
this one
it
particular
is
review.
it is so funny.
There is this one review I'm trying to find that, oh god, like, this is gonna take forever. Okay, you can keep going, because
Yeah, no, it's just honestly, if you have 15 minutes to kill and kind of like KFC, give this movie a watch. It's really funny. It costs nothing. It's literally on YouTube
yeah.
for free. Um, it is definitely worth a watch. I recommend it for what it is. If it was anything, if it was like the length of an actual movie, I'd probably be kind of against it. But since it's 15 minutes, you're not gonna lose like any
Yeah.
major time from that. So yeah, go for it, go nuts. This thing is absolutely hilarious.
Okay, this is the one on IMDb. There's a review that this person gave it a 10 out of 10, and it said, AC Slater is Colonel Sanders, and you dare not rate this movie a 10? Make a sequel every year at Christmas till I'm dead, and I'll eat KFC till I'm dead, which will be 5 sequels because KFC will kill a healthy male quickly. I don't care. I got a bucket tonight because of this movie. But just the I will eat KFC until I'm dead. But okay, wow.
Oh my god.
Um it's, yeah, again, it's completely absurd, but it's yeah, 15 minutes. Like, it's not, there are, obviously, I've mentioned I love bad movies, and there are ones that are much longer that I've seen multiple times, but those are full-length movies. This is 15 minutes of your life, so
Yeah, no, you're definitely not going to lose anything by watching this, but you are going to gain just so much hilarity from watching this.
yeah.
It is definitely worth it.
So
Just give it a watch. It's just really funny on how absurd
so
it is.
Kevin, would you, is this movie real or not?
No, this movie is completely batshit crazy. There's no way that this movie is real. I'm gonna say I've said it like 3 times, and I'll say it again. If they're really that hard on for cash, and like Bunny and Billy have clearly had like an affair or like had sex, why don't they just get together? They really don't need Jessica.
Yeah, and they're clearly
Problem
I mean,
solved.
he might be younger than her, but it can't be like so obscurely. It's not like he's not like he's a minor. He's got to be in his like early
Yeah,
40s or late 30s at least, and she's like, I don't know,
in
a
her 50s,
she's maybe, yeah, like in her 50s, or claiming to be 45. I don't know. Rich
claiming to be
rich woman
45.
age, but um yeah, I agree. Could all this stuff happen?
No,
Yeah, but it wouldn't.
it's like no.
I mean, yeah, they could. Technically, a family can get a chef, and the daughter falls in love with him and doesn't want to marry her pretentious boyfriend, and they hold her friend hostage, and then, you know,
The,
try to kill the
it's
chef.
stuff like this that can only be cooked up in a quarantined fever dream where you're so locked up that anything seems possible at this point. We forget how reality works. This is not how reality works.
That's your speech.
That
That's your speech as you're running for political office. We forget how reality
we forget how
works.
reality
This
works.
is not how reality works.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so
I would recommend it for what it is. Give it a watch. I give this 3.5 half-eaten drumsticks out of 5, and
wait.
it's finger looking good.
Oh, when you said 3.5, I was thinking like of drumsticks. I was thinking like three drumsticks that are all been like eaten, like half
Oh
eaten.
my
So I'm like,
god.
isn't that like two? And isn't that like really two?
Don't think about it too hard.
Yeah, I no, I would give this uh 5 out of 5 famous bowls.
Noise.
I don't remember. I saw one review and I can't find it where someone said like, "Is this?" I don't. Famous bowls. That's a thing at KFC,
I
right? I just
I
made a
I
reference that I
I
probably shouldn't
haven't
have.
been to KFC in like forever, so I honestly don't know.
Yeah, there was some joke that said like, "Is her last name Famous Bowls?" Or like, are they like? I don't know. I think it was. I knew it was like a KFC
Is her
joke, but
last
yeah,
name
I don't.
Famous Bowls?
I'm not a again. I'm not a. I've been to yeah, I have not been to KFC in a long time. We used to eat it like a lot when I was younger, and then I didn't have it for years. And then I went to college, and I went there with people, and it made me sick because I hadn't had it in like 10
Yeah,
years, and I haven't had it since. Because
yeah, no, it's been so long since I've had it. There's like one like relatively new like near my house now, but like I think I've been there like maybe once in like the 2 years it's been here.
and I've never been to Popeyes either.
My sister loves Popeyes, and there's like
Yeah,
one in our town, but it's like there's like no reason to go over there unless like that's the only reason. Like it's so far from our house, like that's literally the only reason that we would go there. It's just like I'm good. I don't want to drive all that way just for fast food when there's literally like 14 other options like right around the corner.
did you see? I think somewhere it was somewhere in Colorado. They opened an In and Out, and people waited in their cars, like in the drive-through for like it was like at least like 12 hours, maybe longer. It was a
Oh
long
my
time. And it's
god,
like,
are you
I
serious?
mean, it was really long. It was a long time. And I'm like, first of all, that's such a waste of gas. Second of all, I mean, maybe it's because I know our drive-throughs for I don't haven't gone to In and Out in like I went to actually In and Out a couple months. I hadn't been in a while. But like our drive-throughs will be pretty like long, but not that. It's if anything, if ever like it's not worth that. It's fine. Then
Yeah,
again, I don't know. We're Californians, so
KFC is not worth it. Or not KFC.
no.
In and
Yeah.
Out is not worth it.
I feel like In and Out. I like it. I think it was one of those. This was my favorite burger place, and then I found a different burger place that I think is better. But they also I don't know. I'm not against In and Out. I like In and
Yeah,
Out. There's just other, but it's also we're
yeah. It's
Californians,
like I
so
mean,
it's
like
like it's
yeah,
like
no, but like even speaking as a Californian, In and Out is not worth it. And whenever I like express like my negative opinions about In and Out, I basically get like crucified. Like they just like, how could you say that? That like, have you tried their fries? Like, yeah, they're soggy and
you get.
over salted. They're not good. It's like
I actually do really like their fries a
it's like
lot.
they're
I like skinny fries though.
yeah, it's like their fries are okay. They're like a 6 out of 10. And like
Yeah.
their milkshakes are good too, but it's like it's not worth the wait. It's not worth the hype. It's there are other
So
alternatives.
maybe like a year ago. I don't know. I saw it was a while ago. I saw blonde a blonde white guy walking out of KFC like holding like I think definitely a bag. Maybe he had a skateboard or something. I don't know. Or I don't know, but I was just
You're
like, this
painting
is
like
the most
you're
Californian
yeah
thing.
you're painting like the weirdest picture in my head right now.
I'm like, this is the most Californian thing I've seen
What the
ever.
hell?
I think he was just missing like a surfboard.
California. Uh, that's pretty much all we have for this movie.
Oh wait,
So
I do
oh yeah,
actually really quick. We
yeah,
should go into recommendations because we haven't done that in a while. But
yeah.
this is why I one of my resolutions was I need maybe to get another interest because so many of you have Spotify, which many do. Spotify does this great thing of unwrapping your year and telling you these are all the things you listen to, and like, makes a playlist. It's great. And it breaks down like your top artists and your top songs and your top genres. And I just want to break this down. My top genres, my top 5 genres were, no, number 5 was show tunes, which is accurate. I love musicals. 4 was
I can
pop.
believe that. I can believe that.
3 is soft rock. That's also accurate.
Okay.
2 is Hollywood, and number 1 is movie tunes. And I was thinking about this. I'm like, okay, one of these, I think didn't know what Hollywood meant. And then I'm like, I think what it means is movie tunes is like soundtracks to movies, and Hollywood is score, I think. Which,
Okay.
I love score music, but the fact that I'm listening to it so much that it's in the top 2, and that the one above that is movie, like, soundtracks, I'm like, okay, maybe get other interests? And then, my top songs, which I really gotta break down. Number 5 was These Boots Are Made for Walking by Nancy Sinatra, which I will not apologize for. And
That's fine.
and number 4 is Fleetwood Mac's Gypsy. And number 3 is the theme to The Mandalorian, which I've apparently listened to so much that it's got into my top 3.
Oh my god. Sam,
I
no.
really like it. And number 2 is Give It Up by KC and the Sunshine Band. Where did I hear that song? I heard it from watching Kingsman, and I really liked it. And I was listening to it a lot over the summer. And number 1, the number 1 song that I listened to the most this year was the Goonies Are Good Enough, the theme to the Goonies. And and to make it even better, so that episode we released, I think, sometime in, it was like end of June, early July or something.
Yeah.
So I watched it like, I think, end of June, and my first streaming of it apparently was June 25th. My day with the most streams was June 26th. And my 100th stream was October 25th. Exactly 4 months later, I had listened to it 100 times.
Oh
And
my gosh.
we'll make the point that a lot of it is me like listening to it and then just starting it over and then skipping. So it might not be a full but version, like complete just sitting and listening to it, but still, I don't think that really matters. And my total streams for it was 111 times. And I was just like, I need to stop. I don't even know, like, I don't really have any plans to change my music listening habits, but I think I need to maybe get other hobby other than.
Oh my god, Sam.
I was dying when I saw
I
this.
don't know whether to be alarmed, concerned, or proud. But I kind of have a combination of all of it.
That seems accurate. That's fair.
Oh my gosh.
I think I wanted to bring that up last time, but it didn't. There was no way to organically bring it up, and I forgot all about it. But this time it came
that's
up.
totally fine.
We should move forward.
Okay, so any fun recommendations for everyone? Like what are you watching lately?
So I actually last night finally started Star Wars Rebels.
What do you think of it?
I've only watched the first, like, the 2 episodes. It's like a 2-parter, so I've only seen like the first 2 episodes. I like it. I didn't spoiler, sorry. Didn't realize there was going to be Jedi or any of that in this. I mean, I figured yes, eventually, but like I didn't think the main characters.
Like right off the bat.
Yeah. The animation's kind of weird. It's not like, I mean,
it's definitely a downgrade from Clone Wars. And that definitely kind of comes up a couple times when you see like like a old like hologram of like Anakin or Obi-Wan or when
Oh yeah,
or
Obi-Wan has
like
a much more has like his beard and his hair is not quite the same as it was in, and I'm
yeah.
like, "Oh, well, okay." Um
Yeah, like
yeah.
like there's like certain characters that you've like seen in Clone Wars, and it definitely feels like a definite downgrade watching them in this. But like thankfully, it doesn't like detract too much from the story. Like that's not
Yeah.
like the main focus.
But
It
I
it
yeah.
is it is a fun show. Yeah.
But I didn't want to I specifically like I last year all I was watching was Clone Wars. Like that was our on and like on and off conversation throughout last year of our podcast.
Yeah,
And this year's
and
gonna be
it's funny that
Rebels. Um
and it's funny that you mentioned Clone Wars. Uh, After finishing Mandalorian season 2 with my mom, she was having like a bunch of questions about like the prequels and all that because she hasn't seen those in like years,
mhm.
and like Clone Wars and all that because like like there's the Dark Saber and like Bo-Katan, like all these characters that like originated from the Clone Wars TV show, and I'm trying to explain that to her, and she finally just says like, "Why don't I just watch them with you?" It's like, wait, really? You want to watch these? So right now we're like in the middle of season 2 of Star Wars Clone Wars, and I'm like explaining pretty much like everything that's going on with her. Like and before we even started watching Clone Wars, we watched Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones. So we're more or less watching these in chronological
Oh,
order,
okay.
and I'm just like grinning from an ear to ear watching this with her because I'm like pausing it like every like 10 minutes to like explain it to her, and it's just like she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I have to like keep asking questions." Like, "Mom, I'm in quarantine. I have literally no one else to talk to this with. This is made my week."
I yeah, I was watching I wanted to finish Clone Wars before Mandalorian season 2. And then I'm glad because the first time I saw Bo-Katan I was like, "Ah!" And like everyone was like kind of screaming for Ahsoka. Like it was I'm really glad I did. But I knew there were references a little bit to Rebels, but I'm like I don't want to stop Mandalorian cuz there's no way I won't get spoilers,
Oh
and
yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
glad I like kept going because I would have definitely gotten spoilers. So now I'm like, okay, maybe by like next time I'll have finished Rebels. Um, I really want to eventually rewatch Clone Wars, but I want to go in the like actual order.
Oh yeah, I don't really have the patience for that right now. I'm just more
Yeah,
or less going in like the actual like episode list
it's
because
yeah,
like that's just gonna be like way too confusing for my mom. It's like,
yeah.
okay, now we're in season 2, episode 3. Now we're going back to season 1, episode 4, and just like screw it. We're just gonna go in order, and I'll explain it as we
If
go.
like I saw the list and like halfway through season 4 it pretty much just stays in order. But
Pretty
the
much, yeah.
but it's like the technically the first episode it's like season 3 it jumps between season like 3 1 and 2 and then you have a couple of those and then you have like the movie that sets up the series and then you go back to
Yeah,
the
yeah. There's like a
series like
there's like a couple like episodes that come out before the movie, and then there's like okay, and then there's the movie, and then there's like this episode that takes place like right after the movie. It's just like
yeah.
Jesus
i
Christ.
was i was confused because there were times where I'm like wait a minute, I understand it's anthology, but there's things that happen that I'm like, wait, what? This character's dead. What? Why am I seeing him? Or wait, what? Didn't this already happen? Like it's uh I mean, do you know why what the reasoning for that was? I think it was just information wanted it to be wanted that to come out at certain times, but I don't really understand why that couldn't have come out in order.
I don't yeah, I honestly don't know why they decided to go with an anthology kind of style for it. I think it was just more of a stylistic choice rather than anything, and
Yeah.
just kind of like fill in the gaps as needed.
Yeah.
Um, because like for the most part this thing bridges like a lot of gaps and fills in a lot of information,
Oh
so
yeah.
I feel like we can kind of give them some leeway for the disjointed and out of order sequences
Yeah.
because it eventually all does come together and makes sense.
Yeah.
But it's really funny watching this with her, um because like watching it, it's a pretty violent show. Like it's like going from like it's like, oh yeah, this is the one where like they make like a bio weapon and try to like spread it and kill all of like they basically like make weaponized anthrax. Like this was a kid show. I was like, Kevin, why would you watch
And
this?
that
Like
was the kid. That
it was
was
Star
the kid
it was
S
Star
season
Wars.
too, right? That was in like season 1. That was in like
Yeah,
the
that
that
was
was in
yeah, that was
the
season
that was
one.
in the season that was obviously meant for kids. And then they're like,
Yes.
ah, that's A, not our
Yeah.
audience, and also why do we need to do it this way? So
Yeah, it was also really funny showing her like the season finale for season one because that's literally just Die Hard with bounty
yeah,
hunters.
yeah, it's Die Hard with Anakin and bounty hunters. Yeah.
It's Die Hard with bounty hunters, and instead of him missing his shoes, he's missing his
Yes!
lightsaber.
Oh my god, it is. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, and then it
Which makes Bane Hans
Hans
Gruber.
Gruber.
And
Yeah,
nobody
and
know wait, sorry, now I gotta think around about this because nobody knows that the building's under attack because everything, seems to be going it's just oh my god, it's freaking Die Hard.
yeah, and then there's also Face Off.
And
There's The
most dangerous
Fugitive.
game.
Yes.
Holy
Yeah.
shit.
I'm still surprised that they had Face Off. That was probably like the weirdest
Oh, was
thing.
that the Bane? Not
Yes.
Bane. Oh yeah, no, actually, yeah, Bane,
Obi
Obi
Wan.
Wan, and
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Bane shows up.
Okay. Uh,
Yeah. There were so many like. This is clearly like a riff of like another movie. I love it.
I mean, then again, the season opener for Mandalorian was pretty much the Alaskan bullworm episode of SpongeBob.
Oh yeah.
And then the next episode was kind
Basically.
of like Chamber of Secrets. And then it got into, okay, here we go. Which, I mean, I had fun.
Yeah.
Those episodes were fun, but I understood why people were like, kind of, I don't know, some people didn't
Meh.
like them. I thought they were fun, but yeah. Um,
So
yeah.
yeah. My recommendation, I just started watching this. They actually just dropped this, I want to say like a couple days ago on Netflix. It's hosted by Nicolas Cage. It's the history of swear
I've
words.
heard about this.
I'm already like I want to say like halfway through it. There's only like 6 or 8 episodes, and they're like 22 minutes a piece, and they pretty much just kind of go over like the history and like cultural impact and like the base origin of like all these like different swear words. Like they do like the F word, they do like crab, like the B word, damn. Like they go through like all of these like pretty like vulgar words and just like okay yeah like like dick was like the nickname for like Richard
Yeah.
because it was like you know it's like Rich would be Rick and then Rick turned into Dick and then society kind of took it from there and kind of turned it into a dirty word and then just kind of showed that like oh yeah like there's some in the English language now you can kind of take like all these like bad words and just kind of like throw them in a language to not make it a bad words and kind of take away the negative context of the word,
Yeah.
therefore we're kind of like removing the taboo from the words like oh okay that's kind of interesting because like like there's like the whole like if you call someone a bitch, you can kind of say it's like, oh, like yas queen, like you the bitch, like kind of like using it to like empower themselves by using that word that had like all this like negative and hate towards it. And it's just like, oh, that's actually really interesting, and it's also just hilarious because Nicolas Cage is just like,
Yeah.
it's Nicolas Cage. He's kind of insane, but it works for him.
He's like dancing on insanity, but he's like aware of it. It's kind of like
Yes,
it's kind of like think
absolutely.
of like Deadpool almost.
Kinda.
In that sense of like he knows.
He's
Yes.
aware that he is
Yeah.
crazy.
Uh this week we started my family we started watching Cobra Kai.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember watching the first. I remember going to like a special screening at the movie theater
Oh.
in Chico where they were playing like the first Karate Kid movie, but before that they were playing like the first 2 episodes of Cobra Kai. And I was like, oh wow, this is really fun. And then I never watched the rest of Cobra Kai because it was under a paywall on YouTube for like YouTube Red or YouTube Premium that no one
Yeah.
used. And
No
now
one
it's on
watched, yeah.
Netflix. Yeah, no one watched it.
I know one person who watched it on YouTube Red. And I think yeah, that was like no one I can only assume it wasn't anything anyone I don't know. Then again, I'm not a. I saw Karate Kid once, like when I was in high school, maybe, and I think it was one of those. I should have seen this already, so I should watch it kind of things.
Yeah,
I haven't seen the second one.
I think
Um,
they're all on Netflix.
they go on. They're one of they're those movies that are on and off on Netflix. They might. I mean, I can check. I wouldn't be surprised if it's on Netflix
Yeah,
right now. But it's it's interesting. Um, because it's kind of like it's so if you have not seen Cobra Kai, it's basically or familiar with it, it's so Johnny Lawrence, who was the bully in Karate Kid, is now like, his life sucks and
yeah,
and Danny LaRusso is is very successful and he's runs like a car dealership and it's him being the like karate karate champion is kind of like part of his shtick now and he ends up helping this neighbor a kid that's lives in this building. He like beats a bunch of bullies for him and then becomes a sensei and reopens Cobra Kai. And Danny's obviously not okay with that because Cobra Kai, was basically filled with bullies and training people to be bullies. And but it's interesting because it's like the same story, but the air quotes bully sensei is the one now training the Miguel's character is the karate
yeah.
kid in
Like
this
they
instance,
more
but
or less kind of have like they have like a role like swap, even
reverse.
though like he's still kind of an asshole, but it's like he's kind of making up for it because of his past.
But it's and I won't give any spoilers, but by the end, it's kind of like I've only seen the first season, but it's kind of like he's giving all this confidence to these kids that have like been struggling so much, like because their high school is filled. Like that was why my dad couldn't get that into it because everybody's a huge asshole, and
Oh yeah,
oh my god, like some of these like kids are just fuck you. Like I can't I don't. But
yeah.
like he's giving
I kind of
yeah.
got I kind of get turned off on it for a bit. I'll probably like rewatch it later, but it just seemed like all the kids in high school are like like they seem kind of old to be in high school. Like these kids like you should be in college or something. Like why are you here? Like you look like you're in your 20s, and I'm sure they aren't or
Yeah,
some of them are, but like every
yeah.
kid they kind of have like the same problem that like a lot of like shows on like MTV or like the CW have. They're like unrealistically attractive looking to the point where it's like no, like it's usually just like a bunch of like average joes. Like the demographic in this high school is just like it's like all right, this dude's like crazy attractive and he's got washboard abs. She's crazy attractive and is like an Instagram model. This dude's like crazy attractive and he can like bench press 200 pounds. And then there's like the other guy in the corner. It's like there's like the rest of like the guy in the corner who's like, oh, he's like the weird kid. He sniffed glue in like kindergarten. Now no one talks to him now. It's like what the hell? It's
I
like
feel like
where's like
yeah.
all the normal kids?
I feel like all of the popular kids, yeah, look like. I mean, then again, I don't know, but it's just they're very yeah. Like we get it, you're popular, and your
It's like
life
we get it.
is
You're popular.
yeah.
You're hot.
And all of the all the like nerdy like kids that join Cobra Kai are like they seem like some of them look like I'm sure maybe some of them are older I don't know but some of them I think at the time of this were actually teenagers I don't know
Yeah,
um but like I don't know it's definitely it's fun it's kind of weird because I think it's a show like I'm into it and there's only 3 seasons there's about 10 episodes and they're about a half hour so it is pretty
yeah. Oh
something
yeah, that's right. The third season just dropped.
yeah, so it's something definitely quick to get through. Uh
Yeah, it's definitely binge worthy in the quarantine.
and they're both like it's funny because it's trying definitely Danny LaRusso is definitely the antagonist. They're both Johnny and
They're
Danny are both antagonist and protagonist. Like
yeah, they're
they're
both stoking the fire for like their like grudge from back in the day.
but I love the characters like Danny's wife is very like this is ridiculous.
Yeah,
Yeah, maybe don't get into a fight with your old karate rival. Like, it's, I really
from
want
when you
to
were in high school.
I really want to rewatch the movie. It's been a very long time. since I've seen
Yeah,
it.
I'm actually gonna see if it's on Netflix right now. But yeah, no, I do remember watching. It was like the first two episodes, uh, in in theaters, and it was just kind of interesting, kind of seeing how it went from like, oh wow, we're gonna be like, I'm going. It was just kind of weird seeing how it went from like, oh yeah, like I'm like really kind of like I've made it, like I'm really important
Yeah,
like car dealership, and like oh he's like made it, he's successful, he's gotten over like all of his like bullies and like all this other stuff, and the bully is like, oh wow, karma is caught up with both of them in both the good and the bad.
yeah,
But and then kind of like immediately watching those two episodes and then going into the movie, and it's like, oh wow, now the humble beginnings of how they came to be.
yeah,
Um, and okay, they do not have Karate Kid. They have the next Karate Kid, which I think
yeah.
is the fourth one,
with
because
with yeah
because the first two had
was
Larusso.
yeah Ralph Macchio, and this one
Yeah, Ralph
still
Macchio.
has Pat Morita, but not not uh
Yeah,
Larusso. Yeah.
and I remember this one because this one had like I think it was Michael Ironside as like the bad guy, and he had like these like I don't want to say neo Nazis, but he was like basically like
What?
training these like it was weird, and I just remember like they were at this one scene where like they're like at like a prom or like a dance or something, and these like guys that like Michael Ironside had like trained are like rappelling down like this glass ceiling of like their high school gym, and like one of
Yeah,
them like breaks a
sure,
leg,
sure.
and like the girl's like the main girl on it, her like date was like trying to like help out like the guy, and like Michael Ironside's like, no, leave him, he's weak. And it's like, what the hell is going on?
Who's
I mean, to
Michael
be fair,
Ironside again? I know the name. I'm
um,
trying to think of.
okay, you remember Starship Troopers?
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, I was looking at a picture.
Yeah,
I'm like, he looks
he
okay.
was he was Ratchak.
Yes, yeah, yeah. Okay.
He had the robo arms like everybody fights, no one quits. You quit, I'll kill you myself.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
You know,
Yeah,
the guy with a million one liners for that movie.
yeah. Oh my god. Uh,
So
Starship
yeah,
Troopers. Yeah.
that's pretty much all I have for recommendations. The only other thing that I would recommend from Netflix would be the holiday movies that made us, where they have the show the kind of like the brief history of how they made the movies Elf and The Nightmare Before Christmas. I watched Elf, and that was
Wasn't Home
wildly
Alone? Wasn't
entertaining.
Home Alone one of them?
That was a spin-off for the movies that made us. That they have 4 episodes of the movie that made us, and it's Home Alone, Dirty Dancing, Ghostbusters, and
Oh,
Die Hard.
okay. Yeah,
Yeah. And then they had it, and now this is the spin-off of the holiday movies that made us, which is just Elf and Nightmare Before Christmas.
yeah.
And it was really fun watching that because you just learn like all this crazy behind the scenes knowledge that you never would have learned otherwise. Like instead of Will Ferrell, they almost had Chris Farley as the main lead for that
Really?
movie. Yep, Chris Farley.
Chris Farley has almost been in like a couple. I think he was almost
Yeah,
Shrek. What's the other
yeah,
one?
he was almost right. Yeah, there's like I think on YouTube you can find like his like old like there was like a storyboard animation of like, oh yeah, this is what Shrek would have looked like, and they put his like audio that he recorded with like the storyboard like clip art. It was like, oh donkey, we gotta get to the swamp, we gotta find the
Was
princess.
he
It's just
also Scottish, or was it just
I
different?
think he was Scott. He
Okay.
had some it's been forever since I've seen it.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it's even on YouTube anymore,
Yeah.
but it was definitely entertaining to watch.
I cannot. I'm actually I can picture him as Buddy, but
Shrek.
also, but yeah, but uh, like also, I think Will Ferrell's perfect. So
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, no, definitely worth a watch. I recommend, and for all of those who have listening, it is almost been an entire year of us doing this.
Look at
So
us.
if you've been listening to us, thank you. That means a lot to
Yeah,
us.
thank you. We're having fun.
Yay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you're not listening to us, please listen to us. We get so lonely. It's quarantine. Listen to us, please. Okay. Yeah, follow us on Spotify, Facebook, YouTube, Stitcher, like, favorite, subscribe, share.
And
If
Apple.
you have any recommendations, yeah, 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 you just
Yeah.
you hit all the plugs.
Yeah. Yeah, and please comment. It can be funny if you want, or it can be serious, as long as it's not hurtful. That's all I ask.
As long as it's not hurtful. You clearly have not been on YouTube in the comments very
Yeah.
long, Sam.
Wait, like on our are our comments on our for like on our YouTube
I
stuff?
I I hope not.
Oh, I thought you were saying like there's like I don't know. When you said that I was
I'm
like,
just in general, just in general.
oh yeah, no. I mean, yeah, then again.
Okay. On that weird note, I'm Kevin Tracy.
I'm Samantha Tomlinson and this has been Movie Grill.